Coming up on 5 Minute News. Israel and the US sign pact to deny Iran nuclear weapons. Secret Service deleted January 6 text messages, says watchdog. And missiles kill at least 23 in Ukraine as more civilians are targeted. It's Friday, July 15. I'm Anthony Davis. President Joe Biden, along with Israeli Prime Minister Yair Lapid, signed a joint pledge on Thursday to deny Iran nuclear arms, a show of unity by allies long divided over diplomacy with Tehran. The undertaking, part of a Jerusalem declaration crowning Biden's first visit to Israel as president, came a day after he told a local TV station that he was open to last resort use of force against Iran, an apparent move toward accommodating Israel's calls for a credible military threat by world powers. Washington and Israel have separately made veiled statements about possible preemptive war with Iran, which denies seeking nuclear arms for years. Whether they have the capabilities or will to deliver on this has been subject to debate, however. Thursday's statement reaffirmed US support for Israel's regional military edge and ability to defend itself by itself. Widely believed to have the Middle East's only nuclear arms, Israel sees Iran as an existential threat. Biden described preventing a nuclear Iran as a vital security interest for Israel and the United States, and, I would add, for the rest of the world as well, he said. Biden, who also met former Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, received Israel's Presidential Medal of Honor from Israeli President Isaac Herzog and reiterated America's ironclad commitment to Israel's security. In 2015, Iran signed an international deal capping its nuclear projects with bomb-making potential. In 2018, then US President Donald Trump quit the pact, deeming it insufficient, a withdrawal welcomed by Israel, but one that destabilized international security. Secret Service agents deleted text messages sent and received around the January 6 attack on the US Capitol, even after an inspector general requested them as part of an investigation into the insurrection, the government watchdog has found. The Department of Homeland Security Office of Inspector General, in a letter obtained by the Associated Press, said the messages between January 5th and 6th were erased as part of a device replacement program. The erasure came after the watchdog office requested records of electronic communications between the agents as part of its probe into events surrounding the January 6 attack. Additionally, Homeland Security personnel were told they couldn't provide records to the Inspector General, and any such records would first have to be reviewed by DHS attorneys. The erasure of the messages is sure to raise new questions for the House panel investigating the January 6 attack, which has taken a renewed interest in the Secret Service following the dramatic testimony of former White House aide Cassidy Hutchinson about former President Donald Trump's actions the day of the insurrection. Hutchinson recalled being told about a confrontation between Trump and his Secret Service detail as he angrily demanded to be driven to the Capitol, where his supporters would later breach the building. She also recalled overhearing Trump telling security officials to remove magnetometers for his rally, even though some of his supporters were armed. Russian missiles struck a city in central Ukraine on Thursday, killing at least 23 people and wounding more than 100 others, Ukrainian authorities said. Ukraine's president accused Russia of deliberately targeting civilians in locations without military value. Officers said Kalibr cruise missiles fired from a Russian submarine in the Black Sea struck a medical center, stores and residential buildings in Vinnytsia, a city 167 miles southwest of the capital, Kiev. Vinnytsia region governor Serhiy Borzov said Ukrainian air defenses downed 2 of the 4 incoming Russian missiles. National Police Chief Ihor Klimenko said only 6 bodies had been identified so far, while 39 people were still missing. 3 children younger than 10 were among the dead. Of the 66 people hospitalized, 5 remained in critical condition, while 34 sustained severe injuries, Ukraine's State Emergency Service said. Along with hitting buildings, the missiles ignited a fire that spread to 50 cars in a parking lot, officials said. Russia denied targeting civilians. Head of the state-controlled Russian television network RT said on her messaging app channel that military officials told her a building in Vinnytsia was targeted because it housed Ukrainian Nazis. President Volodymyr Zelensky accused Russia of intentionally aiming missiles at civilians and repeated his call for Russia to be declared a state sponsor of terrorism. The strike happened as government officials from about 40 countries met in The Hague, Netherlands, to discuss coordinating investigations and prosecutions of potential war crimes committed in Ukraine. You can subscribe to 5 Minute News on YouTube with your preferred podcast app. Ask your smart speaker or enable 5 Minute News as your Amazon Alexa flash briefing skill. Subscribe, rate and review online at 5minute.news. 5 Minute News is an Evergreen podcast covering politics, inequality, health and climate, delivering independent, unbiased and essential world news daily.